Yeah, I'm just checking it. All right, Shalom. We're the brothers of Great Millstone, a branch out in Des Moines. First and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, HaKadosh.
Of honors to our apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to all you brothers preaching the gospel in truth and sincerity, always in charity. And here we are, another week out in the highways and hedges, man. Throughout Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai for continually allowing us to come out and prophesy the downfall of this present evil world as we're commanded to. You know, because the scriptures tell us to come out into the highways and hedges, to the chief place of concourse, right, and bid them to the marriage. Somebody grab that, Matthew the 22nd chapter. Also get Proverbs 1 and 20. Well, you grab Proverbs 1 and 20, Matthew 22.
This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 20. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the street.
You see? So this is where the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua will be found, man. Out in the streets. As it is written in Acts the 17th chapter, it says that the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, man. So you ain't gonna find the Lord in none of these churches or none of these institutions. You know? The Spirit of the Lord is found out on the highways and hedges. Somebody grab that in Song of Solomon 3.
I got it.
Song of Solomon 3.
There's a Song of Solomon 3. You want me to start at 1?
Yep.
It says 3 and 1. By night on my bed I sought him, whom my soul loveth.
Right, so there's, before we actually heard the truth, our spirit was searching for something, man. There was an emptiness, you know, and we were searching for Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Some of us didn't know it, you know. Yahweh Shabbat Shalom. Go ahead.
It says verse 2. I will rise now.
We would ask ourselves, why our nation suffering the way that they're suffering? Why are we going through the things that we going through? You know? Why are we looked down in this society? Why are we the last hired but the first fired? Why are we being persecuted and our neighborhoods are policed at a higher rate than any other place? You know? These are things that we asked ourselves, right? Go ahead.
I will rise now and go about the city and the streets, and in the broad ways I will seek him whom my soul loveth.
You see? He didn't say I'm going to go to a church. I'm going to go to a building. He said I'm going to go into the streets, into the broadways, and see if I can find him whom my soul loveth. Go ahead.
I sought him, but I found him not. The watchmen that go about the city found me.
You see? So that lets you know that what? That you need a teacher, man. Somebody grab that in Romans the 10th chapter. Started, what is that, 2021? I could be wrong, though. It says, how can hear except they be sent? It's Romans the 10th chapter.
This is Romans 10 and 17. So faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High.
You see? Faith coming by hearing, and hearing by the word. So somebody got to be sent in order for you to hear it. Read.
But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth.
You started at 17. Started 14 or 13. What does 13 say?
This is Romans 10 and 13. For whosoever shall come upon call upon the name of Yahweh shall be saved.
Right, so Christians will read that verse and say, see, whoever calls on his name, we can all be saved. No, man. When it says whosoever, it's talking about whosoever amongst the nation of Israel, right? Because Paul is quoting this, or he's writing this out of a Old Testament precept. Joel, the 2nd chapter, the 32nd verse, man, is where he's getting this saying from. As a matter of fact, let's grab that. Let's see what that says.
This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 32. It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered.
Same thing that we just read in this Romans, right? Go ahead.
For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call.
There it is. So in Mount Zion shall be deliverance, man. So that's the whosoever right there. Whosoever amongst the nation of Israel that hear these words and hearken, man. You see? Jump back. Go ahead.
This is just because it mentioned how it mentioned that remnant, right? Who the Lord was going to call. Isaiah 10 and 21, it says, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power. So that's what the Lord is dealing with, the remnant, all right, of Jacob. All right, Jacob being the progenitor of all these 12 tribes, man. So the prophecy says, even in Isaiah the 59th chapter, that the Redeemer, who is Yahweh Shai, all right, it was a prophecy, the Redeemer shall come unto Zion and unto those that turn from transgressions in Jacob, man. All right, so to get that deliverance, that salvation, all right, it's only promising to what? Those that turn from their transgressions in Jacob. That's the remnant, man.
This is back in Romans 10, in verse 14. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher?
And how should they hear without a preacher, man? You see? Showing you that what? They have to be sent. So you got guys that say they figured it out by themselves, or you got these Israelites that like to say all camps is wicked and we ain't got to follow a camp and just search out God for yourself. Nah, man. In the book of Acts, man, the Ethiopian eunuch, he made a statement that said, how can I, except some man should guide me, man?
Right, the Lord said, my son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. So we gotta have teachers.
That's right.
I gotta, oh no, Jake already. Can I hit this real quick?
It says, if you incline your ear, you shall be instructed. That's the rest of that scripture, man. And to be instructed, you need an instructor. You know, instructor is somebody who gives you instructions.
This Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, there shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thy eyes shall see thy teachers. And so like you say, and thy ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, will ye turn to the right hand and will ye turn to the left. So the Lord got the true prophets out here, which is showing us the way out to salvation, like the scriptures talk about. And you're gonna see them on the highways and hedges.
Hey, just like, I think about that, you know, you got those symphonies, you got the guy with those sticks and stuff. No, he's instructing you on what to play. Okay, all right, give me the violin, give me this, you know what I'm saying? All right, give me the trumpets now, rise, you know, and that's the instructor, man, you know? There's a way to do this, man. The scripture says, it says, let every man that build take heed how he builded, you know? Other men have labored and you're entering into their labor. They already had the blueprint. They already had the breakdown. They finished half the building before you got there. You would do well to take heed, you know? But
Back in Romans 10, in verse 15, and how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things.
There it is, man. You know? How beautiful are the feet of them that preach this good news. The gospel of salvation, right? Go ahead.
But they have not all obeyed the gospel. For Isaiah saith, Lord, who hath believed our report?
The elect has. As it is written in Romans the 11th chapter, the election have obtained it and the rest were blinded, man. So we're not out here trying to gather the masses of people, or we're not out here trying to force you to believe in what we believe, man. We speak the word and the Lord do the rest. You see? Go ahead.
Yeah, because the scripture says, my sheep will hear my voice, man. So to those that hear this word, they'll take heed to it. And you know what I'm saying? They ain't going to just come up here and run off. They're going to hear this word and be in tune and you know what I'm saying? And get enlightened, you know? And get fed, you know?
Spoke about that seed that when it went into the ground, it took root. Right? That's what the elect is. That's going to take place with the elect. They're going to hear this word, and it's going to take root within them.
Good ground.
Yeah, good ground.
You know, in the parable that the brother just spoke of, that seed fell on good ground, man. You know, and that's the elect, which is going to bring forth fruit. Some 30, some 60, some 100-fold. You know? Go ahead.
Back in Romans 10 and 18, but I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world.
Right, and that's through the internet. You know? So we come out in the highways and hedges, and what? We stream live now, man. You know? Before we was going live, we were pre-recorded and we were uploaded to the YouTube. You see? And this is how this word has reached the four corners of the earth, man. You know?
It says,
It's the unicorn, according to the book of Job. Psalms 19, it says what? That day unto day uttereth speech, night unto night. It says there's no language or speech that their word is not heard, roughly paraphrasing that. You know, and that was the sign of the end, according to 2nd Esdras. You know? That angel told Esdras that what? That the book shall be opened before the firmament, man. He said what? When that world shall begin to vanish away, then shall these signs, these tokens be seen. Then the book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. That's the internet. So the internet and us on it, man, is showing that it's a sign of the decline of this society. You know, you want to say something? But that's it on that. Let's go back to that
Songs of Solomon.
Song of Solomon.
These Songs of Solomon 3 and 3. The watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, saw ye him whom my soul loveth.
Yep.
It was but a little that I passed from them. I found him whom my soul loveth.
You see? So he found the Lord through what? Through the Lord's men, through the watchmen whom the Lord has established out in the highways and hedges. As it is written in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. Go ahead.
Ezekiel 3 verse 17 says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
There it is, man. So the watchmen are out there on the watchtower, hearing the things that's being said, seeing the sword being prepared, and the job is to warn the people, man. Grab Ezekiel, the 21st chapter, start at, I think it's the 9th verse. Because it says what? Give them warning from me. So this is why we're commanded to come out into the highways and hedges. This is why wisdom crieth without. She uttered her voice in the streets to warn our people of the pending judgment, man. To warn our people of the destruction that's about to take place here in America. The lake of fire. While you got other guys saying that it ain't going to take place here. Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel, the 21st chapter, verse 9. It says, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Say, a sword is sharpened and also firmened.
Yeah, that sword is sharpened, man. And it starts with Esau Edom. See, the Lord's going to use this devil to come down with great wrath to put judgment upon his people. As it is written in Isaiah, the 10th chapter. Somebody pull that, man. Isaiah 10 and 5.
This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation.
So the Lord is going to use this devil to come down with great wrath, man. See the wrath, what it says in 2nd Esdras, the burning wrath of a multitude is kindled over you. That's really the wrath of the Lord, man. That he's going to execute against what? 2/3 of his people here in America. Go ahead.
It says, I will send him against an hypocritical nation.
See that? Against a hypocritical nation. That's you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And you speckled birds that's mingled in the mix. Go ahead.
And against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down in the mire of the streets.
And to tread them down as the mire of the streets, man. So this is the judgment that's coming. You see? What is that? Psalm 17 and 13? Go ahead.
Psalm 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Lord Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, disappoint him.
See, this was going to happen for the Lord's elect. He's going to disappoint this dude's plans, man. That's why in Isaiah 59, a brother had quoted earlier, it says what? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Lord shall lift up a standard. You see? So the Lord is going to protect his elect, man, in these last days. But all those that don't have the covering of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, and you covering with another covering that's not of the Lord's Spirit, as it is written in Isaiah 30, guess what's about to happen, man? Great judgment. You see? You shall dwell in torments, as the precept says, man, in 2nd Esdras 9. Finish that up.
It says, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
Which is thy sword, man. So the Lord is preparing Esau to come down with great wrath upon these people on this side. You see? And not only is Esau the Lord's sword, but these weapons that the Lord has created. That's Isaiah the 54th chapter. It says that he created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, man. So the Lord put the spirit on Esau to come up with splitting the atom. They call that fission. Or what? Fusion, right? Which the fusion is more powerful than the fission. The fission is splitting the atom. And that's what they did when they made Fat Boy and Little Man, when they dropped those bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That was nuclear fission, where they split the atom, right? Now the Lord has given them the knowledge of fusion, man. Not only splitting the atom, but putting the atom back together, man. And that's a more powerful
Explosion.
Explode or reaction. That's the word I was looking for, man. That's a more powerful reaction, man. You see? So the modern day nukes that we have today, they're what? They're fusion. Which is what? More powerful, more devastating.
Yeah.
You see? Finish that up.
Well, that's called giving somebody enough rope to hang themselves. You know, the Lord. That's what the Lord did with Esau. You know, he gave you the rope to hang his own self. You know.
Well, he built his own gallows, man.
Yeah.
It's like Haman.
It's like Haman.
You know, he built the gallows in order to hang Mordecai on it, and what happened? Him and his household got hung on it, man. So it's the same way that the Lord has put in the spirit of this devil to create these missiles. They're going to be his own downfall. Go ahead.
Back in Psalm 17.
That was it. Back in Ezekiel.
Okay. Ezekiel 21.
This is Revelation 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So this red horse is talking about this Edomite. All right, when you go back into Genesis, the 25th chapter, it talks about Esau, and it says that he came out red all over compared to a hairy red garment, man. All right, so that red horse that we're reading about is Esau's power structure, and a great sword was given unto him, which is what? This nuclear capability and all the other weapons that he has, man. Like we always go into, he's weaponized everything. All right, the air has been weaponized, the water has been weaponized, the food has been weaponized. All right, the clothes have been weaponized.
Your own people.
Okay, your woman and your children have been weaponized against you.
Your brother. You know, your neighbor, man. Your fellow Israelite. You know, see, Esau has weaponized all these different things, you know, to keep Jake down, man. You got what they call the Willie Lynch letter, which now they trying to say it's a fable. That there's no
no such thing as Willie Lynch.
Yeah, there's no traces or there's no factual evidence that actually, like, come on, bro.
They're trying to erase their wicked history, man.
Or they got what they call, brothers been sharing this this excerpt that's called the nigger marriage.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't know if brothers seen that, man. Where they were saying how they would separate the man from the household, man. They would use the man to breed with the nigger woman, you know, and then they would remove the man from the household, and they would have the woman raise the man in the sense of raise the son in the way of a woman, and raise the woman in the way of the man, to teach the little girl to be independent, you know,
strong and independent,
to teach the little boy to be strong docile. Physically, but mentally to be dependent and docile, man.
Just like Travis, what's that nigga name? Travis Hunter?
Travis Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, and like we was talking about last night, all these athletes, majority of these athletes, they get you know, that hat on to the team. I'd like to thank my mom. All right, I'd like to thank my mom. You know, I want to get my mom a house. All right, it's the first thing, because the father was nowhere in the picture, and that was done by design. It's a system. All right, it's a formula. It's a formula that they have to break down our nation. And the Lord gave him the knowledge of that as well. The Lord put it in this devil. It talks about how he's a what? A cunning hunter, a man in the field. Okay? And these people don't realize it, but this whole society is set up to hunt Jake. Okay? To trap Jake, to ensnare Jake. It's a pit. It's a system to keep you low, to keep you on the bottom, to keep you a slave. All right?
Yeah, it says in the Psalms, it says he laid snares privily.
Right.
He said, who shall see them?
Shoot
You know?
Secret.
He He shoot at the perfect secretly. You know? And this is what it's geared towards. See, all these different things that's been set up has been geared towards to keep Jake down. You know, but hit this for me.
This is Ezekiel 16 in verse 30. It says, how weak is thine heart, saith the Lord power.
You see, this is what the Lord is saying to Israel, man. How weak is your heart? See, you got these dudes, he spoke about the athletes, man. You got Zion Williamson,
Man.
you know, Anthony Edwards. You got these this new movement of YN athletes, man. Here it is, look at what they doing, man. They sharing Anthony Edwards. His baby mama is the same as, I believe, his little baby mama, man.
His baby mama is someone else's baby mama.
Then he gave her $1 million for the child support. Just to stay out my hair, and you know.
Yeah.
Chief keep, and that's what these niggas do. Tank was dealing with G Herbo, but the nigga
the rapper
nigga, man, from
Memphis.
yeah, Memphis nigga, man. What's his name, man? Moneybag Yo, man. But see, he was dealing with the bitch. So these dudes just deal with the same dusty, nasty ass bitch, man. Now there's I seen an article, I didn't read it, but it says Cassie's and Michael B's relationship is taking forefront of the trial.
Damn.
So now it's like, look at this. All these bitches bitches. Well, these niggas is bitches. But all these niggas that done laid down with this bitch, man.
God damn.
Showing you that she wasn't nothing but a temple prostitute, man. You see? She was what you would call in Deuteronomy where it says there shall be no whores of the daughters of Israel.
Yeah.
When you go into that Hebrew word, man, it says a temple prostitute.
Yeah.
And what they do is they lay down and they have these orgies and these sexual rituals, man, which is all in worship of a deity.
That's right.
So this is why these guys, Michael B. Jordan, this is why they blow up. This is why they are in the forefront and they have all these different movie roles, you see? And their face is always in the media. Because they be doing these secret rites and rituals behind closed doors, man.
They come out with the black eye.
Which involves what, man? These different whores, man. Cassie, Rihanna, Beyonce, you know?
Sexy, was it Agent Red?
Agent Bow Bow.
Agent Bow Bow.
Sexual magic, man. Hey, what Aleister Crowley said, like the highest form of sexual magic is popping little boys, man. And all these people get into that, man. Like the brother's going into strange rites, man. The merciless murderers of children, they get into that. You know, they get into the drinking of blood, man. All of these things are required in these strange rites, you know.
Yeah, because they call Hollywood a Babylonian church, man. You know? And within that religion, you gotta perform these different strange rites, as the brother just said.
You have your duties.
You know? That's why Denzel, for no reason. Well, yeah, I kissed a man in the scene that was deleted. What was the point of you mentioning that or bringing that out?
Right.
You know? Because it's some weirdo shit that they got going on, man. You know? Because at one point it was like, bro, like Denzel, he ain't been caught up in those scandals, and he seemed like he's squeaky clean, and like, nah, man. In order for him to be who he is and get the heights that he's achieved, you know he doing some weirdo shit, man. You know? And the more secluded they is, the more satanic they actually is, man. So you just know how much, Oprah.
Oh shit.
You could just imagine the type of wickedness that he's been doing, man.
Tom Hanks. Oh, Tom Hanks deep, bro. Tom Hanks deep in that shit, man.
Well, we talking about Jake's.
Oh yeah, well
He
yeah.
could be, but you know what I mean.
He might be Jake, bro. I mean, he play Forrest Gump, but you know what I'm saying.
We talking about Israelites, man.
Well, Israelites, you know.
Go ahead, though. You say you got something?
This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Woe! Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And just touching back on the point the brother was making about these different things are geared towards to attack Jake. Like he went into the nigga marriage, all right, which the post that was going around, man. You know, that was what? To make widows their prey. So they would separate the man from the woman, all right, and then use her, weaponize the woman to destroy the household. Even what's that that comedian, man, he just came out and he had that clip. I know brothers
Corey
been
Holcomb?
seeing it. Yeah, Corey Holcomb. Or yeah, whatever. Corey nigga.
Yeah, Corey Holcomb.
But he just had a clip that's been going around, you know, pretty much about how here it is, like, you know, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man has used you, all right, to structure our people, and now there's no use for you. So now they're removing you out of the workforce.
100,000, over 100,000 so-called black women out of the workforce.
Yeah.
And they're cutting food stamps.
And she'll never learn, man.
Oh, no.
You know, she'll never learn. She still think that he's for her turn. She still think the society is for her. You know, even though he's showing you, man. That DEI, what was that?
Diversity.
Diversity. There was a lot of nigga women that lost their job because of that, man. You know.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that's systematic.
They cutting Section 8.
Yeah.
They cutting food stamps.
Saying 32.
You know, and that's not just geared towards the nigga woman either, because the majority of so-called white people, it's a lot of Edomites, man, that's on welfare, man. And they put Jake as the face, you know, of welfare, man. When really there's more Edomites, man, that's benefiting off welfare, Section 8, you know, those different things. But see, Esau's cutting that off into all of them.
76%.
You know? So this place is through, man. And we can see the languishing that these people are doing, according to Isaiah 24. You know? But let's finish that Ezekiel.
This is Ezekiel 16 in verse 30. How weak is thine heart, saith the Lord power, seeing thou doest all these things, the work of an imperious, whorish woman.
The work of an imperious, whorish woman, man. You know? See, a weak-minded woman, what does she do, man? She's always looking for validation, right? That's why she's all in every nigga face. That's why she let every nigga hit.
Bro, golly.
She's insecure. You know, she's always looking at herself and something is wrong with herself, man. You know, this is why she hops on the carousel, you know, because she's constantly looking for validation, man. Well, you got men with that same mentality, you see? Constantly looking for validation.
They got that chick from their mama.
You know? That's how weak is thy mind, man. But see, this knowledge is meant to strengthen the mind. It's to strengthen the integrity, the mentality of our men again, man.
Right.
You know? This is why the Lord told Job, man, while he was catching all that hell, what did he tell him? He said, gird up thy loins like a man. Right? That's Isaiah also, man. Didn't the Lord say, quit yourself like men? Remember this, ye transgressors. Remember this, ye transgressors. You know? So the Lord is putting us back into that manly mentality, man. And it starts with what? With this knowledge. It starts with the gift of the Holy Spirit returning back into us. You see? This is why Jake has a, what's the word I'm looking for, man? They got a problem with male authority figures, man. Because they got a weak mind. You can't talk sternly to Jake, man. Because now they get all emotional and all goddamn filled up with, you know.
Yeah, crash out.
Because how weak is thy mind, man?
Their mind is a replication of the weaker vessel. Exactly, who's the weaker vessel? And it's worse even in this society, man. You watch these women, they're all about dressing up their son all cute and designer. And how the nigga grows up, he's all soft, man, getting his eyebrows done, waxing his eyebrows, all worried about fucking, you know, Balenciaga shoe. Like, he's all caught up in the fashion and all this other soft ass shit. He's all, you know what I'm saying? You take care of yourself, but he's all manicured like a woman. All right, lined up, all sharp, pretty nigga. All right, a pretty boy.
It takes some more to get ready than the female and shit. And the bitch be ready, and then the nigga still not ready. What the fuck are you doing, bro?
Dreads all fucking manicured and shit, yeah. Just
Bonnets.
Soft.
Niggas
bonnets,
moving around in bonnets.
Oh yeah, we seen a nigga with the bonnet over there.
Yeah, we had on our walk at the lake, man.
God damn.
There's some random nigga out there with a flower bonnet on.
Man, you supposed to just be able to hit him. That's a target. You supposed to be able to punch him right in his nose, knock the bonnet off. You're not supposed to see no shit like that amongst Jake, man. All right? Just that soft-ass, effeminate-ass spirit, the Lord's about to rain fire upon these people. It says that an effeminate will not enter into the kingdom. All right, these soft-ass niggas, man. All right, that's why the Lord is hardening us. He said, endure hardness as a good soldier, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right, because we grew up in Babylon. All right, so that's why the Lord has been taking us through trials and tribulations to toughen us and strengthen us for the times that we're coming into, man. And to separate us from the rest of these people, from the rest of Israel. Because these people are wicked. These niggas are wicked. These bitches is wicked, man. And if you're not separate, you're not going to be received by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right? And being separate, there's a certain... Having fringes on a t-shirt doesn't make you separate, man. All right? Separate is a spiritual thing. All right? You have to be separated spiritually, mentally. Not just having a fringes and a beard on your face, man. You got it.
This is 1 Ezra 4 and verse 37. It says, wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works.
So just backing up what the brother just said, man. You know? All these individuals is wicked out here, man.
Yeah, the whole world lied for wickedness.
So this is why it's very important that you separate, man. Spiritually and mentally, as he was going into. Go ahead.
It says, and there is no truth in them.
You see, there ain't no truth in this world, man. You know? It ain't no honesty, it ain't no righteousness, man. You know? Look what, no loyalty. Look what's going on throughout, you know? You had, brothers was sharing an article. You had, a mother and her boyfriend just got sentenced to life in prison because she sold her daughter to some dude because he wanted her eyes and her skin, man.
Yeah.
The melanin in her skin. You seen that?
South Africaners. They were South Africans.
That shit wild, bro. But that's showing you that what? The love of many is waxing cold. You see? Look at the society that we live in, man. Look at the atmosphere that we're dwelling in.
Yeah.
You see? As Paul prophesied and told us what would happen in the latter days. Men shall be lovers of themselves, boasters, blasphemers, disobedient unto parents, proud, boastful. It says without what? Natural affection, man. You see? So these people are all about themselves, man. The cruelty that's taking place, you know? You gotta be a sick, evil individual, man.
To sell your daughter's skin, like
her eyes and her skin, bro.
she was a pretty young, beautiful little girl, man. So I think she sold it for $1,000 too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
It's a fucked up world we live in, man. You know? But here it is, you got people trying to, we need to better our communities. We need to build here. The fuck out of here, man. See, this place needs a hard reset, man.
Yeah.
The whole earth. Grab that in 2nd Ezra 4, start at 28.
Yep.
Finish what you got.
See, that's the difference between us and these other camps. These other camps is trying to rebuild the community, and we going into the Bible and showing you that the Lord is going to destroy the community. Why would we try to build what the Lord is destined to destroy? He said 2/3 of my people shall all perish, man. The book of Zechariah, 2/3 of my people in America is going to perish. Why the fuck would we waste our time going into these damn ghettos trying to rebuild you niggas, man? All right, trying to clean up the fucking trash that you niggas left behind, man. That's not our job. He said, go out to the highways and byways and bid them to the marriage. It said, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, man. So this is all we got for you, man. All right? We out here doing what the Lord told us to do, which is what? Preach this word on the housetops, man. Preach this word on the highways and byways in the chief place of concourse. Doing the work of an evangelist. And this is really what will heal you. This will heal you beyond, all right, finances. And that's a part of it. This heals you in every way, shape, or form. It'll heal you physically, as far as your health is concerned. It'll heal you with your finances, because it teaches you to become more disciplined, all right? And not to care about the things of the world. Because that's how a lot of people's finances get messed up. They try to live above their means. They try to keep up with the Joneses, right?
Yeah, it teaches you contentment.
Yeah, exactly. Godliness with contentment is much gain.
You know, the scripture says, be content with such things as ye have, man. You know, because the Lord said, I would neither leave thee nor forsake thee. I'm roughly paraphrasing that, man. That's written in Hebrews. You know, there's another one in Sirach where it talks about living by yourself in a mean cottage.
Yeah. It's better.
That mean cottage means a lowly, you know,
Average,
poor crib,
a
man.
flat.
You know, and then it says it's better than good
Begging.
fare in another man's house, man. So you would rather have your one bedroom or your studio apartment, man, than to live with another guy in a mansion. You know? But it tells you to be content. Don't live beyond, don't try to get what this world has, man, to desire this, and you know, because people think that it's all about how did Yahweh Shah say it? That life is more than raiment.
Food and
Life
raiment.
is more than food. You know? There's a, how did he say it, man? Life consists more than what a man has.
Yeah.
I'm roughly paraphrasing that, man. This society teaches you, man, you know, to trusting what you got. Get gain, you know.
Materialistic world.
How many designer shoes you got, man? Or designer belts or designer jeans.
Shows you your worth is through it's through the materialistic things you have.
Yeah. How many cars you have. Or what's in your bank account.
You're crazy.
You know? No, man, that doesn't determine a man's
Measure.
Status.
status or his worth.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for, man. You know, material things doesn't determine a man's worth, man.
Hell no.
You know, because once this society collapses, what's gonna happen? You're gonna be just like my man on what's that movie, man, on Netflix?
Leave the world behind.
Yeah, I'm a worthless man.
Yeah.
He
had it on the
didn't have
world.
nothing to help his son. His son's teeth was falling out, man.
Right. And he would be a so-called man of renown in society. You know,
Yeah,
He was well off.
He was
He
a
was well
high
off,
value
yeah.
man in this. That's what you said. In this society, he's a high value man. But when this society collapsed, he's no longer even. He's not even a man.
Worthless.
He was a bitch. He turned into a bitch. He's begging on his knees. All right. He had no begging another man on his knee. He had no type of intestinal fortitude. All right. See, this society doesn't gauge, like the brother said, doesn't gauge our worth. All right. The measure of a man goes beyond how much he makes. Okay. How much can he provide? That's what they taught. That's what they instilled. All right. In these women's brain. Okay. Specifically the so-called black woman. Okay. Because that's what's taught by her mama. Whatever a man can offer her. Meanwhile, she has nothing to offer that man. All right, she has nothing to compliment that man, and that's her duty. That's her role.
Well, you that mentality is pushed on, you know, this whole society. Like the brother said, you know, the nigger woman, the so-called black woman, but this whole society, man.
Yeah.
You know, you go down into South America, you know, and you got Edomite men, right? Because there's a blog. There's an Edomite blogger, man. You know, where he was down there amongst the indigenous, so-called indigenous. You know, he was in the poor areas of South America. I forgot which country exactly. You know, but she invited him home.
Oh yeah.
You know, she invited him to the crib, invited him home. She was weighing on his hand and foot. The parents accepted him with open arms. And it's just off the visual, because he looks like a so-called white man. So therefore, it looks like what? Wealth. It looks like what? We made it, man.
check.
And this is why a lot of Northern Kingdom men identify as white, because they have fairer skin, you know, so they consider themselves as being white, man.
Yeah.
Because white is looked at as as the symbol of success,
Yeah.
Image of beauty.
you know.
The peak.
But see, all that is being changed, man, since the truth has been put out in the forefront, man. Right? There's a precept, a brother grabbed that in Psalms where it says that when I awaken. Talks about the Lord awakening. But I'm going to read this while y'all look for that. Luke 12 and 15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, which this is what this society pushes, man. To desire something the next man have. And this going back into what we were talking about with these athletes. Why is these dudes passing around the same women? Because they're covetous, man. You see? They seen her on his shoulder last year. Then they get into it and you know, they separate, and now he pop up in her DMs, man.
He been waiting.
And she's with it too, because she wants to continue to live this life of luxury. So she go from one rich nigga to the next one, man.
Another source of income to the next.
She has no problem with it. This is why she has no problem with spreading her legs. This is why she has no problem with what? With him releasing in her, man, and she's having these children by these different guys. And Then you have these these average women. They looking to hit the lotto is what they say, man.
Then they go get the fucking BBLs.
That's why That's why they pour out to the nightclubs. That's why they pour out to these prominent different places, because they're looking to run into Anthony Edwards. They're looking to run into Stephon Diggs, man. Yeah. There's a video going viral with this nigga. He was on a boat with Cardi B, and you had all these other bitches in his face, man. They know who you is, dog. Yeah. They know you a multi-millionaire NFL player. You see? They not in your face, nigga, because you got good conversation. You know what I'm saying? Right. They ain't in your face because they think that you're interested.
Charismatic.
Nigga, they know what that bank account looks like, nigga.
That deal, they can Google what that deal was like.
Right.
You know?
It's
and the
public
thing
information.
is, she left, or her and who was the nigga? Offset? Because the nigga was
supposedly cheating.
Yeah, supposedly cheating. But there's rumors about her, and we don't get into
her
that.
Infidelity.
Yeah, we don't get into that, but it's out. It's just everywhere. The scandals and shit. But the point I'm trying to make is she got with another player. She got with another man, and she got with another man who's a man. He liked to deal with multiple women. So here it is. You destroyed your family because of your husband having another woman on the side, just to go get with a man who got a bunch of women on the side. It's the same thing. Men are men, and that's not even just black men. That's all races. The so-called white man is like that, man. Even though he's a bocce boy on a high level, but it's the testosterone. Moab is like that. His little, I was, at the taking care of, just talking to this Filipino guy. He could have been a Jake, all right? But he was at the spot and he was talking about, yeah, man, so much women everywhere, man. My wife was mad. He's a heathen, all right? Short, low testosterone. He's like a low testosterone type of dude. But he's still he's married, but he's all caught up in more women. If you line up 100 men and you ask them if they can deal with another woman, all right, outside of their main chick, they will all say yes, man. 100 straight men, they will all say yes without having without getting caught. His woman is all right with it. All those 100 men will say yes. But here it is.
In this society, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of simping going on.
Well, they'll say some dumb shit like, "Oh, well, I can't deal. That's too much for me to do." I'm just saying, on a physical level.
As men,
As a physical level, men want variety. All right. So she'll leave you, all right, and break up your home, take your children, put you on child support, just to go get a boyfriend. All right, and he's dealing with women on the side. Anyway, man. Or he just low testosterone, all right, and dealing with anyways.
But it's back in Luke 12:15, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth, man. So a man's life don't consist on what? The tangible things, man. You see?
Yeah.
It goes deeper than that, man. But once again, this society only focuses on materialistic things.
Yeah.
And ultimately that's rooted back into idolatry.
Yep.
Because there's a precept in Wisdom of Solomon where it says that our life here is as a pastime.
Yep. Wisdom of Solomon too.
And our time here is a market for gain.
Yep.
So it's all about profit in the sight of these people, man.
That's all.
And it says what? That we must be getting it by any means, even though it be by evil ways, man. I'm roughly paraphrasing what it talks about in Wisdom of Solomon, man. Showing you that this is a idolatry-minded society, man.
Right.
Hey, what did Paul call covetousness in Colossians the 3rd chapter?
Idolatry.
He called it idolatry. You see?
And there's nothing more wicked than a covetous man.
Than a covetous man. Yeah, such a man sell his soul to sell, man.
Yeah.
It says he cast away his bowels, which means that he'll throw away his morals, man.
Yep.
That's
Here it is. You would talk to a nigga, and you would be like, hey, would you allow your woman to do this, that, and the third? Hell no, man. That's my woman. What the bam?
Money.
Well, what about 100 mil?
Split that shit.
Yeah. So now money changes his stance now, man. You see? That's a guy that'll throw away his morals, man.
Right.
You buy a nigga cheap.
Yeah, you can buy a nigga cheap.
Or those females that go over to Dubai and they get shitted on and pissed on just for what, 20K, 10K? You know what I'm saying? Like a bag. Yeah. Yep. Birkin bag.
There's this movie on Netflix, man, that came out a couple of years back. It's called Would You Rather.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if brothers
rich
watch
nigga?
this movie, man. It's called Would You Rather, and it's supposed to be like a thriller,
Right.
you know. And then
They're on the table.
in this movie, man, you had this rich billionaire character, man. You know, and he would seek out and prey on individuals who was in bad situations, that was in dire straits, man. You know, and this one, the lady, which she's the main character, she couldn't afford the medical bills of her little brother. You know, her little brother had this illness to where he was dying, and she couldn't afford the treatment for him. You know, so this billionaire ended up becoming privy or becoming, you know, aware of her situation. So he invited her to his crib with some other people, man, that were also in dire situations, right? And those different people were in different situations. You know, it wasn't the same. One guy was in heavy debt, you know, and all his shit was about to be taken away from him. But anyway, the billionaire preyed on these different individuals that were in these dire situations. So he invited them all to his crib for a dinner, right? And he let them know why they're invited here. He said, look, let's just play a innocent game of Would You Rather. So then he got to know the different individuals, man, like the main character. He said, what do you like or dislike? She said that I'm a vegetarian. So he brought some meat and set it in front of her and said, look, if I give you $10,000, would you eat that piece of meat? And she was like, nah, I'm a vegetarian, we're up the bam. So he kept upping the price. Well, what about 20,000? What about 100,000? You know? And then the same thing, there was a guy, he used to be an alcoholic, but he was clean. He was recovering for the last, I think it was like 20 years or something. Don't quote me. It's a good movie to watch, man. But he was 20 years sober. So my man's was like, would you take that drink? He brought out this old aged whiskey, high quality. And he said, well, for 50 racks, would you take that sip? And he was like, well, how about for 100? Then he took that sip for 100, and then it kept going after that. And it started out innocent. Then it started to get into life and death situations, man, to where people started dying, you see? But I'm saying that to say that these people are easily bought, man.
Yeah.
And this is how Esau preys on society, for lack of a better word, you know? But go ahead.
You could buy a young nigga for cheap, man. A blunt, you know what I'm saying? And an old nigga. Yeah. All these young old niggas, all of them. Man.
Just give a nigga a Corvette. He's cool.
I mean, you see what they was doing in the year 2020, right? They were saying, take this jump shot. We'll give you a 3.5. We'll give
donuts.
You free donuts. You know, it's like, you know, for cheap.
Yeah.
Popeyes.
Hey, you get a free chicken sandwich.
Strip
Or
club,
you
I
get a
think.
chance to enter into the lotto for $1 million exclusively to jump shotters. You know? But you wanted
It's still in the edges, right?
Got that song too.
First Edris 4:37.
yeah, first address.
Yep. Still holding that songs. We call it second Edris 4.
Yep. First Edris 4 and verse 37. I'll just read from the top again. Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their works wicked. And there is no truth in them.
Yep.
In their unrighteousness also they shall perish.
Yep. So that's what's about to happen, man, to the society, man. You know, in their wickedness, in their unrighteousness, they shall perish. Go ahead.
It says, as for truth, it endureth and is always strong.
You see? As for truth, it endureth forever and is always strong. Go ahead.
It liveth and conquereth forevermore.
Uh-huh.
It says, with her there are no accepting of persons or rewards.
Integrity, man. So those who are operating in the spirit of truth, you see, they maintain their integrity, man. So they can't be bought. They can't be reasoned with, you know? Go ahead.
It says, but she doeth the things that are just,
Uh-huh.
and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things.
Mm-hmm.
And all men do well like of her works.
There it is, man. You know, and she refraineth from all wickedness, man. You see? So this is what truth does, you know? And just going back to the point the brother was making earlier, this is what separating from this society looks like, man. You know, it's not physically separating because we still gotta maintain our lives. Jake still gotta work. Jake still gotta pay bills. You know.
Still join.
So what does it mean to separate, man? It's to turn from the ways and the deeds of this society. You see? Because this place is about to be judged, man, harshly. You know? And like we spoke about, man, you know, because we was talking about Esau being looked at as the symbol of success. You know, he's been looked at as pure. Well, see, well now it's being found shameful spewing on his glory now, man. You see? Now the how does it say it? The churl is no longer being looked at as bountiful, according to Isaiah the 32nd chapter. You know, let's hit that Psalms.
This is Psalm 17 and 15. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness.
No. Despise his image.
Oh, Khan, Salaki.
Despise his image.
Yeah.
When I think it says when the Lord shall awake, he will despise his image.
This is Psalm 73 and 20. As a dream when one awaketh,
Yep.
so, O Lord, when thou awakest.
And how did the Lord awaken? Through his men. See, his spirit being in this earth in these last days, man. You know? This is the Lord awakening. You see? Go ahead.
When thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image.
You see? So Esau's image, man, his whole structure in society and how he built things, man, it's all being looked at as filth.
Lies.
You know? It's been built on lies, murder, and robbery, man. You see? And he feels it, man. This is why a couple years back, there was that movement of, he was removing statues.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he removed the Theodore Roosevelt statue. He removed some Christopher Columbus statues, man. Because there was a period where they was defacing these things, you know? And that was just showing you that what? That was a shameful spewing on this devil's glory, man. See, at one point he was rejoicing. He was glad in his conquests. He was glad in the deeds that he performed. And then he became ashamed of it. And now you got this movement of Edomites where they're re-empowering themselves, man. You know? You should be happy that we colonized you people. Look at what you have. You have running water. You have cars and cell phones and technology. You know, what's that individual, Matt Walsh? You know? So now you got this influx of Edomites, man, who are what? Getting that pride back. You see? And we love it, man. Because the more puffed up and proud you get, then that means what? The more it's gonna feel good when the Lord breaks your ass, man.
Pride go before
You know?
destruction.
See, it don't feel nice. You know, you fighting against somebody, man, and he all humble, and you know, it don't make you feel good punching on his ass, man. But here it is in the pregame or in the face-off, he was talking all that shit. He all in your face, I'ma knock your ass out. He talking all that shit. So it's like when it's fight time and you get in that ring, you gonna take joy in punching his ass the fuck up, man. You know?
Eat them words.
Yeah, you gonna take joy in that. You see? So when Yahushua returns, man, we need this devil at the height of his pride, man. You know? But go ahead.
Though thou exalt thyself as the stars, you know, amongst the stars, roughly paraphrasing, set thy necks in the heavens, Lord's gonna bring you down, man. This pride reaching to the heavens. And it's through this technology, this AI, that shit's getting to his head, man. This nigga think he's smart as hell. Alright? Because he got an apple with no seeds in it. And it don't decay. It cause cancer in your body. This nigga really think he's somebody. You're a cave beast. You're a Neanderthal. Okay? You're the basis of the nations. And everything is about to be restored back into its proper order. Right?
Yeah, back in your rightful place, man.
The bottom.
What does it say? Moab is a washpot. Over Edom would I cast forth my shoe. You see? You remember that bitch? I remember that bitch. Anyway, you know, over Edom will I cast forth my shoe, man.
She used to not be bald all the way.
She,
I don't know. figuring out what the fuck was going on with that head.
Man.
I got one real quick. Second Esdras 8
Knucklehead.
and 50.
Well, that bitch head shaped like an elbow. People's elbow.
Second Esdras 8 and 50. For many great misery shall be done to them that in the latter times shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And like the brothers were saying, man, your pride is what's going to cause you to, your destruction, man. All right? Because the Lord hates pride. And he about to humble this whole world, man, and take away your pride, man. You've been exalted, now the Lord about to drop your ass to the, from, you know what I'm saying, on your face. You know what I'm saying? You're about to be brought low, you know?
I got something real quick. This is Job 20 and verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. You know, and that's what the Lord is going to do, man. The Lord is going to send that great destruction upon this devil, man. You know, and this is what we're hoping for, man. We're tired of seeing these heathens and our enemies reigning upon us, ruling over us, man. With these wicked laws, man. You know, we're waiting for the Lord to send forth his. We're waiting for Yahweh to send forth his son Yahweh Shah, all right, to correct this whole place, man. To correct the planet.
And it said while he was eating, you know, going into what? That the Lord gonna allow this devil to think he's about to fulfill his plans, man.
Like what,
you know,
what happened in Exodus?
It's like while you eating and you about to fill that belly.
Yep.
You know, meaning you about to get that last little bite. You about to clean the plate, man.
Yep.
You unbuckling the pants, making room for
you know,
dessert.
And right then, boom, that's when the Lord about to rain on this nigga parade, man. You know, cancel your picnic, nigga. Let's hit that Esdras.
Second Esdras chapter 4. You want me to start at verse 12?
28.
28.
Oh, 28, it's like it. 28, it says, but as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but destruction thereof is not yet come.
Mm-hmm.
If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down.
You see, so that's what we're looking forward to, man. You know, that this wickedness that has been sown in the earth, man, is going to be what? You know, it's going to be uprooted. You see? And a part of this devil's shame being put on his glory, you know, a part of despising his image, what did it say in Isaiah 29? It says that the turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. You see, so how his devil has been doing things, man, it's being found out that ain't the right way to do things, man. You know? It's a worthless setup that this dude has done. You see? Go ahead.
It says, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away.
Everybody's seeing the result of how this devil has established things, man. You know, the women hurting. Because you got a lot of women now realizing, man, like, oh shit, we done fucked up. We was desiring this feminism. We was desiring to be independent. Now you got this influx of women, man. Now they're looking to be submissive. Now they're looking for, you know, that leader.
Looking to learn.
You know? Now they're looking for a man to guide them and instruct them, man. You see? A lot of people is realizing that the way this devil has organized and established this society, man, that it's leading all to hell. You know?
Dream is just a dream. American dream, it ain't reality.
A debt-based society, man, right? They realizing going to college didn't do nothing for their ass.
Yes.
Just debt.
You got a lot of women, man. They $500,000 in debt, man, for fucking college fees.
Yeah, a dumbass major.
Worthless degrees. Like you go to school for liberal arts. Like what? I mean, you don't get a career from that. You don't get a career from that at all. But
Fashion.
Bitch don't even know how to sew. You know, don't know how to make a dress. Don't know how to sew. Bitch don't even know how to make a sock, man. Getting a business degree in fashion. You know?
Didn't learn nothing.
Go ahead, though.
It says, I'm reading verse 29 again. It says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good.
Yeah, that's it. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. You ask him, bro, I guarantee you he gonna say no. Jake said if you line up 100 men and you ask them if they want to deal with another woman, he said they'll say yeah. And I'm like, nah. You would have a couple of them, you know.
A couple of Travis Hunters.
That's what we saying. That the dude doesn't walk past. That he one of them that's gonna be like, nope.
I love my wife. She's all I need. Oh, what's that one nigga? Malak Shar.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
One woman in the kingdom forever.
Madness, man.
That's why he's a bug out. That's why he's nowhere.
Madness, bro.
That sounds like
You gotta look at the same butt for all eternity.
Well, what's that nigga name? Joe? I don't wanna know if you playing me. Keep it on the low. Like, this is the type of niggas, man. The fuck out of here, man.
That nigga said his heart can't take it.
I think that was Joe. That was Joe, right?
Joe and The Weeknd. The Weeknd did like a remix or some shit, I believe.
Montel Jordan or one of them niggas, man. The point is, yeah, fucking simpology, man. Study as simps, man. You know? Yeah, that's what these niggas do, bro. Yeah, Jaheim.
Yeah, put that woman first.
But look how that nigga look.
Fucking crack.
When he said that he had the whole braids.
Yeah.
Nigga was in shape.
Nigga had a little beard, like a little.
Nah, yeah, the nigga had a little beard oil in it. You know, nigga had a glow to him, little shining face. Now you see this nigga, man. That nigga missing half his fucking braids.
Looking like Delonte West.
Stressed out.
You know? Hurt. Talking about put that woman first, man.
Oh, exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Through.
Look at the picture of this nigga now, man.
This is the woman you should put first. This wisdom.
Sophia,
you know?
which is the Greek way of saying wisdom.
Yep.
You know?
And we ain't talking about that bitch Sophia either.
Damn.
Or Maria. Go ahead.
It says, verse
Or
30.
Sharkeisha.
It says, verse 30, it says, for the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. How much ungodliness hath it brought up unto this time?
Right, and that was that time, right? So the angel asked him, look how much ungodliness it has brought up and produced that during that time. And that's the time of the Persians and Medes, right? Go ahead.
And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come?
And that's what we looking forward to, man.
Revelation.
That time of threshing. You see? And the angel said how much wickedness is going to increase until that time.
Yeah.
So now we're at the height of it, man.
Yeah.
Look throughout society. You see? Wickedness is at an all-time high. Lewdness is at an all-time high, man.
Yeah.
So now we know it's the time where the Lord is going to judge this place, man.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, Babylon is as a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her.
And that's why, you know, like the brother mentioned, that's during the time of the Medo-Persian Empire. If you just gauge how their women carried themselves, all right? During the reign of Artaxerxes or Ahasuerus, he had a woman, the Queen Vashti. She wouldn't present herself when the king summoned her. So what did they do? They all got together, all his princes, all his rulers and his officers got together and said, we need to make an example out of her. By doing what? Vanishing her, taking her out of the queen's position and putting a new woman in her stead, because that rebellion is going to cause a ripple effect throughout his whole kingdom of women rebelling against their husbands, all right, from the least to the greatest.
Yeah, if the queen did that to the king, then
the common man,
what message is that going to send, man?
The common man had no chance. So they corrected that. This not corrected in this society. All right, now these men have the mentality of happy wife, happy life. She rules the household.
They had I don't know if brother seen that. There was an image or a video clip of Macron. I think he's the president of France, if I'm not mistaken. Google that for me real quick. Macron, M-A-C-R-O-N. I believe he's the president of France. I could be wrong though. But anyway, there was a video of him coming off the plane. And his wife was it's the president of France, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, his wife.
So his wife was out of frame. So he said something to her, and she muffed the hell out of his ass, man.
All you see
when his face get muffed. And then he walked out on the out of the plane and started waving. And then she walked out and started waving too. See, this is what happens behind closed doors when it comes to these so-called Edomite elites, man.
She probably be pegging that.
They ass getting pegged like the Chief Hoover Crip. See, just like that dude. He. I like it when they talk, when they got a mouth, when they talk crazy. He's a fucking weirdo, man. But see, that's the Edomite fetish. You know, that's what Edomite, the dominatrix shit, man. Only Edomites like that shit, bro.
Right. They like that. They like to see their woman getting hit while they watch.
Y'all got something to say? Y'all got questions about the sign? All right.
Good answer.
Go ahead. No, because they was talking, kept looking back, talking, you know? Because I seen them, they was looking right here, then they started looking over there. We in dialogue with you, man. We ain't gonna bite.
They was looking where they was at on the side.
They ain't. That's what we tell their ass. You know? You ain't here. Can't sit here. You know, but yeah, muffed his ass, bro. Muffed his ass, man.
He leads a country.
Yeah, he's the president of a whole, he's supposed to be the leader of a whole country, man.
President of France and co-prince of Andorra since 2017.
Well, it's the same
Yeah,
thing.
got his ass muffed,
Yeah.
man. See, like the brother was going into, though, during the Persian Empire, that bitch would have got put away, man. You know? But here it is, she muffed this whole nigga, and he walked out the plane. But see, this is what's happening, man.
Sleeping on the couch.
You know,
In
yeah.
his house.
Yeah. But they showed you that in fucking Coming to America, man. See, in the first Coming to America, they played that bullshit.
Yeah.
Here it is, that woman was raised from her birth to serve that man. I don't want that. So he wanted to go to Queens.
To get him a queen.
He wanted to go to Queens. What does the word queen mean, man? So he wanted to go to America and get a woman that was used and abused already.
She already got a man.
She already had a man.
Princess Soglo.
You see? Already had a man. But that's what he desired. Where she gonna say, nah, I don't like that. Don't do that. That's what he desired. But on the second one, I don't know if you brothers watched the second one, they brought the characters back. She put his ass on the couch.
Hey, the prince.
The king.
The king.
He a king now.
Yeah. Oh, because old boy died and shit.
Yeah, Jaffe Joffa, his dad, you know? On the second one, he was the king, man. And she said, she put the nigga on the couch, man. Like, imagine that, bro. Nigga, I'm a king, but I'm getting put on the fucking couch.
That's my empire.
Fuck that
That's how
bullshit.
Esau is, weak as fuck, man.
Yeah.
It be the same Edomites that be at your job acting tough, want to yell at you and try to boss you around.
Yeah.
But at
Home
home,
get
they
punched up by their woman and their son.
Exactly.
Woman dominating their ass,
All right.
you know? But you can see that, man. The relationship with Bill Clinton and Hillary. You already know Hillary was running that nigga, man.
That bitch is a straight witch. Like
You
a
know?
real witch. So
Yeah,
she a
but see,
demon.
in a lot of these cult, I don't want to call it that, so-called left-hand religions, man. The women becomes higher than the men.
Yeah, they're high priests.
They looked at as a priestess, or they looked at like in Freemasonry. There's a Eastern star for the women, and they get it to a higher degree than certain men do, man. You know?
Stupid.
You had, I believe it's Barbara Bush, bro. When you look at that bitch, man, that's a horrible looking Edomite woman, if it's a woman. But that was the daughter of Aleister Crowley, man. And Aleister Crowley, he was known for what? That do as thou wilt. You know?
His mama called him the beast of Revelation.
Yeah, that dude was highly demonic, man. He was highly wicked. You know, and his daughter, because you could look at a picture of both of them, bro. Identical, man. You know? His daughter is fucking Mama, is it I think it's Mama Bush.
Damn.
If I'm not mistaken, man. You know? But this society, man, and these Edomites and these so-called elites, they are highly occultic. That's the word. You know, occult. You know? But go ahead.
looking at it now. They the ugliest shit.
Bro, they look alike, bro.
Yeah.
There's rumors that that's his daughter, bro. Or his son. It's a lot of weird shit going on in America, bro.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it's that Comic-Con shit.
Man, this shit
Oh yeah, it is.
is over, man. It's a joke. It ain't even funny.
Finish that entrance.
But back in 2nd Ezra chapter 4, in verse 30,
It's a lot of weirdos, bro.
it says,
That's what they got at the Comic-Con, huh? Great.
Oh, it's a Comic-Con down there?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, Wells Fargo.
Oh, at Wells Fargo?
Yeah.
If it looked like that, nigga.
Yeah. Get the brother, don't come this way for that.
it says, for the grain of the seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning.
God damn.
How much ungodliness hath it brought up this time? And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? Ponder now by thyself, and how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed hath brought forth.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and when the ears shall be cut down, which are without number, how great a floor shall they feel?
How great a floor shall they feel? So it's just showing you the abundance of wickedness that's taking place in this society in these last days, man. You know? And this is why, man, we ain't got another fucking 30 years, bro.
Can't.
We got these guys talking about another 20, 30 years, another 1,000 years, man.
That shit hurt, bro.
Nah.
Saying
You know?
that shit.
This place ain't got too much longer, man. According to Revelation 18, it says what? Her sins have reached into heaven. And we can see the wickedness, man. And how it's reaching its climax, man. It's reaching its height. You know? Go ahead.
It's like that, and that show you the difference again. We got a different set of eyes than these guys, man. We literally can't see 30 years. I can't picture 30 years. I'll be 60. I'll be turning 60 in 30 years. I'll be 60 years old, nigga. Like, what? That's not gonna happen. That's nowhere in my mind there's a possibility that I will turn 60 in this society.
Hell no.
In this body. That's not gonna happen. That's not even in the realm of possibility. But these niggas is preparing for 30 more. Like, these niggas have the mentality like, we gonna die here.
Jake ass gonna be a Popeye.
Golly.
Shit, boy.
The scripture says,
Nigga,
man
fuck that.
perceives the evil and hide of himself, man. So we see the evil in the bad times that we're living in. And there's only a few prophecies that's speaking right now that got to kick off, man, before this is over with, man.
Hell yeah.
It ain't gonna take no 30 years, 1,000 years, man. None of that.
It's happening now. The Lord's not about to slow it down. We in the 9th month.
At the end,
All
it's a
right,
speak.
meaning it's time for the woman to, get that baby up, man. All right, that 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, says that the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As a woman in the 9th month, she travaileth with great pains, compassing her womb. Roughly paraphrasing, we in that month. All right, we at the final trimester. It's time for the, legs, ankles is swollen. She wobbling all around. Belly poking all the way out, shirt, belly button is sticking out, shirt don't even go past the belly. All right, that's the times that we living in. But these niggas said, nah, she still got a whole nother year. She still got 5 more months. Nah, she about to drop. All right, that water about to break anytime. All right, and that's the mentality that we in. The water's gonna break anytime, man. All hell's gonna break out loose at any given moment. It only takes one thing. It only takes one wrong movement, or the right movement, the right, what do you say, let no crisis go to waste. The right situation, the right so-called crisis. And really, it's going to be a poly-crisis. In Ezekiel, it says evil upon evil. All right, it's come. The end is come. The end is come. Behold, it is come. In the NLT, it says disaster upon disaster is coming. All right, crisis upon crisis.
That sword is sharpened.
Yep.
That was what we was going into earlier, man. And that Ezekiel 21. Shall we then make mirth? Like the brother said, we got different set of eyes, man. You see, what we're looking at is the coming of the kingdom of our Lord Yahweh Shai. What they're looking at is their own kingdom.
belly.
See, Bishop Nate is looking to sit on the throne of the IUIC.
Yeah.
General Yohana is looking to sit on the chief seat of the ISUPK.
All under Esau.
See, that's Isaiah, what's that, 56? Dumb dogs.
Yeah. 10. I got it.
They all desire to get it from their own quarter, man.
Yeah.
See, they are looked at as the ruler or the king of their own dominion, man. Chief Hoover Crip, he want to be looked at as the chief, the leader, you know, Genesis. You know, I'm deacon, I ain't a deacon, I'm a priest of God now.
You're a bitch.
Whole ass niggas, man. You see, but these niggas, they don't see the coming of the kingdom of our Lord Yahweh Shah. They're not looking forward to that, man. You know, they can't see it, which is why all they see is this society. All they see is this place here, man.
Another 30 years.
You know?
Wow.
Go ahead.
Isaiah?
Yeah, you can hit it.
Is Isaiah 56:10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant.
You see?
Ignorant.
Because like the brother said, we got different sets of eyes, man. You know, his watchmen are blind, man. They can't see afar off. You see? But we can, man. And we see how close it is. You know? Go ahead.
They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber.
Meaning to be comfortable. And this is why they tell you about homesteads. This is why they talk about marriages. You know, come get your wife,
Get a job.
you see? They tell you about the smooth things, man. This is why they're telling you it's only another 30 years, another 1,000 years. Because they love in the slumber, man, lying down, meaning they're comfortable. Bishop Nate is comfortable with the money that he's generating from the IUIC.
Millionaire.
You know? Chief Hoover Crip is comfortable.
30 racks. Come on.
You know? This is why he has no problem with bending over, man.
Damn.
You see? Being dominated.
Being stomped.
This nigga had fantasy, and it was just fantasy. No, nigga, your weirdo ass, man. You was doing that shit.
Even
You know?
fantasy, nigga. What the fuck?
I'm saying, like, that's
Sent your woman out to be fucking dominated by an Edomite man.
And then you come back and kiss you.
And then she came back pregnant with a whole Edomite baby. And then she left the nigga for the Edomite.
Come on, bro.
Is this your chief?
But is this your king?
That's bad.
That's your gangster Hoover Crip chief priest though, right?
I mean, that nigga was tied to Adam 22, and you know Adam 22 is a fucking freak, bro. That guy lead, bro.
He's like a goddamn Edomite Diddy.
Damn near.
This is Amos 6:1. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountain of Samaria, which are named chief of the nations, to whom the house of Israel came. So just going back into the Isaiah, it said they love lying down, loving the slumber. Okay, they're comfortable. They're at ease. And the Lord said, woe unto them that are at ease and comfortable in this society. That's why the Lord continues to take us through trials and tribulations so that we never get too comfortable and too complacent in this world.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know? That's what the Lord teaches us, man.
Yeah. That's what Paul says. He said, I know how to abase and I know how to abound. Okay? Whatever comes my way, I'm with it, man. I know how to deal with it. You know?
How to keep your composure. You know, because it's times where, you know, brothers come up, you know, with a lot of money, you know, or there's times where brothers come really low to where, you know, we don't have, you know, it's kind of hard to get, you know, certain things, you know, the necessary things that you need to sustain yourself. But the Lord keeps us in that perfect peace, you know, because we're always going to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, we're not relying on these tangibilistic things like money. All right, we're not relying on no money. You know, we're relying on Yahweh Shem Yahushua because He's the one that's guiding us, that's protecting us, that's feeding us. You know, and that's how we're going. And then it's going to be the same thing in Jacob's trouble.
Yeah.
We're going to rely on Yahweh Shem Yahushua. When society collapses, it says riches profit not in the day of wrath, but it says
Righteousness delivered from death.
That's right.
Yep. Don't trust in tangibilistic things, man.
Tangibilistic, hell yeah.
I'm scoffing you out.
That shit.
Tangibilistic.
Tangibilistic.
Woo!
Go ahead, read that.
Fuck.
This is 1 Peter 5 in verse 10. It says, but the power of all grace who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Hamashiach Yahushai, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, settle you.
You see? So we get settled, we get established, we get firm, you know, in the process of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because we know within this process, it comes what? Trials, tribulations, temptations, man. You know? And it's all to test our faith in order to perfect our faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So we get comfortable being uncomfortable, you see?
Yeah. So the Lord take us through storms, all right, so we learn how to remain calm within them. Just thinking about when the disciples was on the ship with Yahushua, he was at the bottom of the ship sleeping. And a great storm happened, and the disciples, they got flustered, all right? And they ran to Yahushua and said, how you sleeping? We're about to perish. And instantly, he calmed the winds, all right, and stopped the waves. You know, so it was a learning moment. It was a teaching moment for the disciples. Like, I'm with you, I'm here. No matter how boisterous the winds and the waves get, okay, I'm in control of everything. So that's what we got to, and everything that we go through, we got to keep our mind upon that, man. That the Lord is orchestrating this storm that I'm in the midst of. And he's right here with me on the ship, okay?
Well, that's that word that I put in the group me, what was it, Friday night. It's equanimity. Equanimity. It's from the Edamon. It says fairness, impartiality. It says evenness of mind, calmness, goodwill, kindness. You know, and it says evil-minded. It's like an even-minded. It said evenness and temper. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we gotta work towards, man. Even though, you know, the situation might look fucked up or whatever it might be, but we gotta keep that, you know, that temperance, and we gotta keep that faith in the Lord, man. You know, because I was listening to this guy, you know, about discipline, you know, and he was talking about how it's easy to go one way or the other. It's easy to go over the top, or it's easy to go under. You know what I'm saying? But the difficult part about it is to keep that temperance, is to actually have that perfect balance. That's the hardest part of everything, is keeping that proper balance, you know, and that's how we apply it in the spirit as well. It's, you know, it's too easily to do over righteous things, or, you know what I'm saying, or do whatever, but the hardest part is to you know, keep that level-minded, man, in the Lord, you know. Shit's hard, but hey, through Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we can do all things, man.
Every day, it's a different balance every day, man.
Yep.
You don't know what the day has, you know, in store for you. All right. Say a just balance is a delight to the Lord. So we got to find our balance in all things. You know, even to the smallest things. The Lord said, you know, he that contempteth small things shall fall little by little.
Yep.
So everything is important, man. Detail, paying attention to detail. He said, be not ashamed with matters that concern your soul. You know, so hey, every little thing, you know, can have an effect on your soul. As I've been mentioning, you know, it says in the book of Proverbs, it says, guard your heart with all diligence. All right, because out of it are the issues of life. You go into that word heart, it's the Hebrew word lav, which means your mind. So to guard it means to, you know, have a watch over it, you know, to protect it. And your ears is a gateway to your mind. Your eyes is a gateway to your mind. These are all gateways to your mind. The people that you have around you can influence your mind. Okay, it can plant thoughts into your mind, just, you know, based off their conversation. So we need to watch all these different things.
Even what you consuming.
Yeah, and that's the word I was gonna use.
Meaning with your eyes and ears, not just
mouth.
what you eating.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, as the brother said, you know, who you got around you, but also what you allowing yourself to watch or listen to, man.
Yeah, that takes effect.
Music,
Right.
fucking whatever you watching on, you know, TV, YouTube, Netflix. All right, that shit, it has an effect on these. Look how it has an effect on these people. These bitches watching reality lives and shit. Yeah.
Well, it started with Bad Girls Club. I don't know if y'all remember that, man. Yeah. You know, Bad Girls Club, man.
Bunch of reports.
I had to be what, probably like 14, 15 when the first season came out, man. Something like that. Bad Girls Club. You know, they have all these different bitches from different areas, man. These hoes be living in a certain area, and they get along and fighting and doing different, you know.
And they going out every goddamn night.
College Hill. You know, on BET, man. Jersey Shore. These different.
Blue State, Blue Mountain, whatever it was.
Oh, let me see how. I know y'all niggas young, Joe. Real World.
Yeah, Real World.
On
Dave
MTV.
Chappelle did a whole skit on that shit.
Yeah, Jake
A bunch of people in a house.
It was different people. Yeah, man.
Real
You know,
World.
but see the influence of these shows, you know,
Had an effect on
had a
society.
heavy effect, man.
On the whole society, bro.
You know, these different movies, man. Look at
American Pie.
In the late 80s, you know, going into the early 90s, man. You know, with the introduction of rap music, right? You had NWA, you know, and not only just NWA with that introduction, you know, into that gang banging, that drug selling, that kill, you know, that vibration. But around that time, you also have movies coming out like Boys in the Hood. Yeah, Scarface in the late 80s. You had the one with Wesley Snipes.
Nino
Jack
Brown.
City.
New Jack City, man.
Down.
You know, New Jack City. You know, you had these movies being made and being brought out, man. You know, and what does Jake look at them as? Hood classics, man. You know, so the vibration of those movies and those songs in the late 80s and the early 90s set the tone for the rest of that decade, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So now look at what was brought out in the 90s.
Trick Daddy.
Then in the early 2000s, man, and you know.
Yeah, I was gonna make mention too. I was thinking when you was mentioning about TV shows, I was thinking about like the shows like Murray, fucking Jerry Springer, you know, like shows like that, and that was that's a staple.
It highlights the dysfunction among so-called black people.
Degeneracy.
The degeneracy, man.
Especially towards the nigga woman, you know.
Don't know who the father is.
Exactly. You are
That's
not
crazy.
the father. That's
You 15, 16 years old, don't know who the fuck the father is, running out on stage and shit because you chose the wrong one.
And then they elevated these vile people, like the Catch Me Outside bitch. She was on Dr. Phil because she was disrespectful
Disrespecting
as
her
fuck
mother.
to her mom. Now that bitch is making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Damn near
OnlyFans.
Hundreds of millions.
I think it was like a million a month. Almost close to like $1 million a month. OnlyFans.
But they put her out there as well, though. Like it's like they
Well, they said
promoted her.
as soon as she hit 18,
Yep.
she went on OnlyFans, bro, and
Niggas couldn't wait to
Blew up.
go bad.
Yeah. She said she didn't push anything, but she just made it, and a lot of niggas just subscribed.
She's showing more than I don't know.
That shit fucked up.
I don't know what she's showing, but the point being, you know, is that look at the vibration that Esau pushes, you know, out to the people, man. And then you have people that are following this vibe. It's witchcraft.
Yeah.
And that's that Nahum that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through their witchcraft, man. You know?
Yeah.
See, that's why America gotta get uprooted, man. That evil that is sown gotta be uprooted, you know?
Right. And niggas are getting hip to that. I know I've seen a couple of doctors on TikTok complaining about how these porn stars and these people on OnlyFans are making 3 times, 4 times more money than them, and they're actually saving lives. You know what I'm saying? So the value of different things like that, bro. Fucking fucking prostitution is fucking making way more money than, you know, a nigga, you know what I'm saying, that went to school and this and that and the third.
That's
So
our
like,
president.
I seen a meme. This was a couple months back.
making more than Steph Curry.
I seen a meme, and now the NBA is a multi-billion-dollar business, bro.
Yeah.
You got players that are signing contracts
55 million.
upward of $300 million, bro.
Golly, bro.
There's multiple players that are getting paid 50+ million a season.
A season. And a season, how long is it usually?
82 games.
82 games. You know, plus the play if you make the playoffs, you know. But an 82-game season, man.
God damn, bro.
They're making upward of $50 million
That's
a
hell of a
season,
good fucking money.
right?
8 months, 9 months.
The NBA is a multi-billion-dollar business. OnlyFans generates more money than the NBA, bro.
That's fucked up, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You got a lot of these
Yes.
WNBA players, right?
there.
They're also
they're getting they're not really getting an NBA bag.
They ass getting a fraction.
But they're getting a majority of their income.
From
If they
OnlyFans.
do it, they come from OnlyFans, man. Like I know this bitch Elizabeth Cambridge, man.
Yeah,
Tall,
Liz Cambridge.
Cambridge, yeah. Tall ass bitch,
Cabbage.
you know, and she makes more, or she generates more income on OnlyFans than she does with her WNBA contract, man.
That shit's fucking sad.
Because nobody's watching that shit.
Over
But that shows you
sexualized.
right there, all right, how deprived the men are, and it also shows you the appetite of a man as well. All right, going back to that point we was making earlier, it's like these men, they're paying to see multiple different of these hoes. All right, they're paying. That's why there's a strip club, because you can go there and you can, you know, you got variety, right? It's spice of life, showing you that men on average want, you know, multiple women. And since they're deprived of it, they're willing to pay, all right, subscription to this bitch, subscription to this bitch.
Yeah, well, today's society is more virtual,
Yeah.
you know, and you seen that transition happen from the late 90s, the early 2000s, man, you know. But you got a lot of, they look at AI as their wife.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like-
yeah,
like
yeah.
straight up,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, these dudes, and that shows you how toxic these women has became, because these men are deprived of sex, but they're willing to go the route of digital or virtual than to actually have physical conversation or interaction
connection.
with women, man.
This nigga dating chat GPT and shit.
Yeah, bro.
Nigga,
Real
that,
talk.
that bitch from Game of Thrones. What's her name?
Daenerys.
Yeah, that
Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah, a lot of people. I seen this nigga dating her on AI. I'm like, this shit.
Well, there was a report that a little boy
Killed himself
because of that, man.
And his mama should have been fucking monitoring that. All right, this nigga just talking to damn AI, texting AI all the time, and he's like, oh, AI told him to fucking join him,
Right, join
join
her.
him or some shit. And the nigga thought if he killed himself, he's gonna end up being with his AI girlfriend.
That's why they coming out with a couple years back. They did that movie with Joaquin Phoenix. He fell in love with an AI, man. You know, or that movie that just came out on Netflix. I think it was last year.
The Megan,
With Megan Fox. I think that's her name.
I forgot what her name. I forgot
She
what
was
the
an
movie
AI,
called
and
Megan.
the dude was popping the fucking AI, man.
Yeah, that shit bugged out. And then Afraid too. That Oda Michael put us on.
Oh yeah,
Right,
AI.
right,
Yeah, the
right.
AI took over everything. You know, ordering different shit, babysitting the kids, all that bullshit.
But that goes all the way back to that movie House, or was it called?
Yep.
Where it's like a smart house.
Smart House.
And then they
Yeah,
had
the Disney movie.
Yeah, and wasn't there like the wife what came with the house or some shit? I
Yeah.
can't remember how it
Yeah.
was.
Monster House.
And it was like she started taking over. That show you how far
Yep.
back
She
that shit goes.
she got a protective.
Yeah, she got overprotective.
Yep.
But I got something.
Smart House. I think that was in the late 90s, man.
Yep.
That was a Disney
That's
movie in the
super
late
dope.
90s. I think it was like 97, 96, somewhere around there.
Show you that AI shit. And now it's like your house. You got Alexa in the house. Hey Alexa, do this. Hey Siri, do that. You know, they're personifying, you know, technology. All right, giving them a name. Okay.
Ring cameras.
Yeah, the ring cam,
Yeah,
everything's
yeah.
monitored. All right, but this is Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity.
Start at 5.
Verse 5, there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler.
See, so showing you the ones that's in rulership, man, they erring. They in error
Going off.
with how they run things, with how they structure and set up things, man. Go ahead.
Verse 6, folly is set in great dignity.
Look at something as simple as the waste management, bro.
Yeah, bro. Plumbing.
As simple as that, man. This nigga, instead of, bro, the earth will never run out of fresh water. This nigga tell you that the earth is running out of fresh water.
Overpopulated.
The earth will never run out of fresh water, bro. You know?
Right.
The system that the Lord has established with the rain, and it comes down and it runs through the rocks, and it's, you know, there's reservoirs of water underground. Like, bro,
Stop it, nigga.
but we should consistently have fresh water. But this nigga, he'll recycle wastewater, go through a whole process of cleansing it, reverse osmosis or some shit he called, man. and then recycle it to come back through your faucet.
They gotta go.
Stripping it of its nutrients.
Or look at the what he does with garbage. He got a system where you throw out your garbage, whatever day that the garbage man run, he come pick it up. He drives it to a garbage dump. And it's just a bunch of fucking trash that's piled up in mountains of, to where now you have multiple islands of trash in the ocean, man.
Trash orbiting the Earth.
Right.
This thing put a hole in the ozone layer.
That's an error from the ruler, man. Not having a proper system of how to properly, and it all goes into what? His greediness. It all goes into his desire to make a profit.
Yes, sir. Yes,
because
sir.
now he produces plastic and these things that can't properly break down. See, that's why when you go to the law, when it talks about our utensils, man, it would be made out of either clay or iron or steel, you know?
Silverware.
Silver, gold, because it talks about an iron pot. You watch that. You know, it talks about when you go into the law of a dead body, if anybody die in the house, every open vessel in that house is unclean. If it's an iron pot, you simply wash it. If it's a clay pot, you break it. And what happens with the clay pot?
It goes back into the dirt.
It is biodegradable. It goes back into the earth, man.
Come on, bro. It's simple. Simple, bro.
It's very simple when you go to the law and when you look at how the Lord orchestrated it's very simple, man. But now this devil, I'm gonna make non-stick pans. I'm tired of my eggs sticking to the pan. So I'm gonna make a non-stick pan. And now this shit done cause cancer in millions of people, man.
The whole world.
Even the damn warehouse that they used to produce that Teflon, they leaked all the fucking waste into the river, and all the people in that city caught cancer, man. You can Google that, bro.
Yeah, it's a case. It's a case.
You can Google that, man.
It's a case.
This dude is sick, bro. But this is all going back into an era of the ruler, man. This dude gotta go, man. Go ahead.
There's if I may say, this one dude, his name is Peter Letmath. All right, he was a former CEO of Nestle. All right, now he replaces Klaus Schwab, right, as the chairman of the WEF. He came out and said water isn't even a human right. Water is not a human right. So yeah, you get taxed. You gotta pay for your water. You know?
Find ways that how you have to pay for air. Well, it was that movie, shit, with Justin Timberlake. You had to pay for
Time.
Well, time was the currency.
Time was the currency.
You had to work in order to get paid to have more time in your life.
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, so time was the currency. You know.
Right. This devil he trying to capitalize and on everything he can touch. You know what I'm saying? The air, I'm pretty sure he'll find a way if he can, but Lord, his days is over with, man. You know?
That's why he uses those carcinogens. You know what I'm saying? He uses those preservatives and different foods and stuff so it can last longer. So it can last longer on the shelf so he can sell them.
Yeah.
And that's what causes cancer to these people. You know?
Yeah, longer shelf life.
Right.
But once again, it goes all the way back to him for a profit. His desire of gain.
Right.
You know? And the scriptures talk about that. In Sirach, it says that an envious man is not satisfied with his portion.
Right.
It's like, look what all you got already, bro.
You saying water isn't a human
Nigga,
right?
you already control the resources where they go, nigga. You control where the banana's going. You control where the apple's going. You control all that. But they rock too fast.
Right.
So let's develop an apple that don't rot. This dude he gotta go, man.
It says that in due time the Lord will put up over the earth what that is profitable. This devil has done nothing good to the planet. He's done nothing good for nobody. What good has he done? Someone put on the comment board, man. All right, when we was at mid-K, used to ask. Someone tell me, man. Anybody.
Bro,
Anybody out here, man, tell me. Name me one thing that the so-called white man has done good for humanity, man. All right? You got something good? He didn't say, well, he did come up with AOL.
Find a way, make people pay for air and stuff. I mean, when you think about it, if you ever know anybody with like a respiratory issue,
Yeah.
ventilator systems,
Oh yeah,
they paying for oxygen to stay alive. Like you can't make somebody pay for oxygen.
yeah.
So
And this devil is wicked as fuck, man. He just I think that's what Micah 2 and 2. Where he can't go to sleep unless he just thinking about wicked shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What you got, though?
This is Ecclesiastes 10:5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. And folly is exalted in this society, man. I mentioned the what's the Catch Me Outside girl, man. She makes more than the president.
That's what.
Yeah.
She makes more than the nigga that rules the fucking country, so-called, right?
Well, you got athletes. Yeah, that's sad. You gotta.
She's a whore.
Bitch show her feet.
Bro,
Feet.
that one
Big
girl was
fart.
selling
Fart in the
farts,
pot. Yeah.
and she showed she makes 6 figures off of that shit. Farting in a damn bottle and selling it online.
Plastic bag and shit, man.
Talking about, yeah, this is what I eat for breakfast, beans, shit that make you fart, bro. She did a whole TikTok and went in and said how she made 6 figures off of that shit, man.
It's a high fiber diet.
Athletes, all right, make more than doctors.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna speak on.
Yeah.
You know, put a ball in a hoop, or fucking run a football down the field. You know, making more money than physicians or doctors. You know, they ain't physicians. Teachers.
Yeah.
You know, but it makes sense in this society because a doctor, he false.
He's not really.
He not really healing you. Like the apostles say, they good with trauma.
Yeah.
You know, nigga, you got cut, broken bone, got shot, your ass bleeding out, go to the hospital. You know, surgeries and shit like that. But when it comes to, you know, sicknesses, you know, ailments of the body, you know, you go to the remedy. The physician is meant to give you the, you know. But even look at teachers. Look at what they teach you. So it makes sense. Like in a society, it's like, bro, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Cause it's like they educating the next generation.
Yeah.
Ain't no way in hell a nigga that fucking throws a ball 60 yards is making more money than this person who's teaching the next generation of leaders. Next generation of doctors, the next generation of lawyers, the next generation of teachers.
Future of the country.
But it makes sense now that we in the truth and we look at this society and how upside down it is.
Upside down. You got the teacher.
They teaching you evolution.
Right.
The motherfucker don't need to be paid to teach that.
Teacher don't know what gender he is. He come to his job a different gender every
Miss
day.
Man.
Right, Mrs. Man.
And they showed you that in the first Scary Movie, man. Showing you going back into what we was talking about the movies and the vibration that it set. That was supposed to be funny, right? I think the first Scary Movie came out in 2001. You know, big ass swole dude with titties cross his legs, his ball fall out the skirt.
That shit really happening. And it's crazy as fuck because in middle school I had a motherfucking PE teacher that looked just like dude ass. Just like dude. And it's crazy, man.
Big Mama's House.
Yeah. Miss Doubtfire.
Yeah, Miss Doubt, that was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Miss Doubtfire. That was all looked at as comedy. Ah, that's funny. But look at the vibration that it set, man. Now it's normal. Yeah. Now it's okay to teach kindergartners, first graders, little Timmy, you could be a princess.
It's in the cartoons, the commercials.
They got books saying that boys have menstrual cycles. It's wild, bro.
Shit, man.
When we was at that fest, there was a bunch of young ass 15-year-old, 13-year-old boys with crop tops on.
Right, yep.
So this next generation, that's why they call it Generation Z, bro. There's nothing after this. 30 more years, a couple more generations, man. It's not gonna be, there's nothing after this, man. There's nothing after Z, bro. The alphabet's done. All right, it's over with, okay? There's no way that this place can continue. All right?
And that's why there's a precept in Sirach where he speaks about one of the things that the Lord hates. You know, it says, I think it's the part where it says that a man of war that suffereth poverty, Then it says they that are wisdom that are not set by.
A man of wisdom that is not set by.
Now, set by is going into what? A man of wisdom is supposed to be taken care of, man. Because a man of wisdom, a man of understanding, the type of wisdom and knowledge he has is supposed to generate wealth. That's why King Solomon said that I didn't know she was the mother of all things, and all things came to me with wisdom. You know? So it talks about a man of wisdom that's not set by. See, in the kingdom of heaven, the wisest men on earth is going to be the most wealthiest men. You know? But in this society, it's not so. Those that exude or that show forth the most folly, those are the ones that's exalted, and they are the rich ones, man. I was just gonna say that. Kai Cenat, that nigga. I show speed. This nigga, there's one where this dude, he was barking.
Barking at a bitch and shit.
That's all he was doing was barking online. The nigga was screaming, barking.
His claim to fame.
And he generating hundreds of millions of dollars from that, man.
Yeah, that nigga's rich.
The nigga Kai Cenat, on one of his streams, that nigga had like a sleepover or some shit, and he went live like the whole entire night.
24-hour stream.
And niggas was like literally sitting there just watching niggas sleep. Like,
Bro,
Kevin
that
Hart
shit
was
is
yeah,
weird,
that's
bro.
the spirit. I was gonna say that.
Kevin
Kevin Hart, them niggas be having
Yeah.
games and sleepovers and shit,
Yeah, bro.
and people just watch. But see, that's the new form of entertainment. You know?
Man, you had, what's that dude, little Cannon, Nick Cannon, yeah, motherfucker playing cards, you know what I'm saying, playing spades, and people was watch him play spades and shit.
Paying
You
money.
know, and you know what I'm saying? This shit crazy, man. All the distractions that's out there that keep you just distracted and not, you know, from seeking this truth, man. You know? But
Ecclesiastes 10:7, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. So that's why everything is backwards, because the princes, the true rulers of the universe, is in slavery. And the slaves is ruling. So that's why everything is backwards, going back into that second Ezra, the 4th chapter, that the Lord needs to return and put everything in its proper place, put everything in order. He says that the Lord is going to come and set up a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. It's going to look completely different than what we see right now, man. These weak-ass fucking cars polluting the air, this weak-ass concrete, these damn imported-ass trees with no fruits on them. There's supposed to be fruit trees everywhere. You don't just see riding around, just see a bunch of fruit trees anywhere. The earth makes its own food, but this nigga, he takes it all and say, yo, you gotta come to me. I own it. It's not, bro, our land is gonna be so fruitful, our kingdom, all right? A land full with milk and honey is gonna be food everywhere. Fruits everywhere, fruit trees everywhere, man. The earth is gonna yield its abundance when the true rulers come back into rulership. When the earth is given into the hand of the righteous, who the earth belongs, it says that the world was created for the righteous in 2nd Ezra. So when the world is given to its rightful owners, it's going to do what it's supposed to do, man. It's going to
rejoice.
Proverbs 29. You got it? Go ahead.
Proverbs 29 and verse 2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
The righteous ain't in authority right now. The wicked is in authority, and that's why everything is out of order. That's why that's why these women act the way that they act, because the wicked's ruling. Okay? That's why there's men, all right, that's cutting off their genitals and getting titties surgically implanted.
That's why there's no accountability within this society. Because the ruler, he don't hold himself accountable.
The ruler insults his officers.
You know? There's always a reason or a finger to point when it comes to Esau and why he did what he did.
Yeah.
When he sold his birthright. Is he not rightly named Jacob? He supplanted me. Nigga, you sold it, nigga.
Nigga.
You said that you was about to die, that you couldn't wait for the food to get done, and you said, what is this birthright gonna profit me right now?
Right.
You didn't mention that part to Isaac, nigga.
You did it, nigga.
Or Cain descendant, what was it, Lamech, if I'm not mistaken, man? You know? It says, I slain a man to my hurt. He played the victim, man. Now see, that's what Esau does. You know, he plays the victim. You see, just like his whole conquest of the Americas, man. You heard that what they well, they was fighting over the land themselves. Talking about Gad. Yeah. Well, they were savages and fighting over it themselves. So we brought order, and so they justified a genocide.
Yeah.
Or look at what he's doing right now. The Greater Israel Project, man, where he's bombing schools, hospitals.
Crimes against humanity.
You see?
Women
And the whole world is witnessing this, man, and nobody got nothing to say.
Yeah, vocab talking about us.
Nobody got nothing to say, man. And he's in BB, not a Jew. He was the first one to mention how it says we shall have war with Amalek from generation to generation, which he was alluding to those Palestinians being Amalek.
Trying to wipe them out.
Well, you got a guy that recently just came out and said the same shit again. Meaning he's using the scriptures as justification in taking the land from those Palestinians, man. So where vocab at? You want to come against us and say the Edomites are done away with? Well, they're saying that those Palestinians are Amalekites. So where is your sermon, or where is your videos that you're doing condemning what they're doing over there? Shouldn't you be telling them, well, no, Amalek is done away with. Those Palestinians aren't Amalekites. They're using the scriptures to say we have a divine right to that land. And they're bombing and mercilessly murdering those individuals over there, man. And nobody ain't got nothing to say about it. That's why the hypocrisy of this place, man, is going to go. See, that's why we can't wait, man. You know? But I got this. Proverbs 30, just to land back off what the brother read in Ecclesiastes. This is Proverbs 30 and 21. I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, there are 3 things that make the earth tremble. No, 4 it cannot endure. A slave who becomes a king. Ain't that what happened, man?
Yep, the base of all men ruling right now.
Didn't it say he come out of prison to reign? I'm roughly paraphrasing that in Ecclesiastes. He came out of prison to reign. Can the brother pull that real quick? It says, a slave who becomes a king, an overbearing fool who prospers. This is the fool. This is what it says. They were base men. They were viler than the earth. They were children of fools. You got a fool that's prospering, man. It says a bitter woman who finally gets a husband, a servant girl who supplants her mistress, man. Esau represents that servant that's now in a rulership position. And it says that the earth is disquieted because of these things. The 4th one, it cannot endure. A slave girl that is heir to her mistress, man. That word mistress is female for master. Feminine for master, man. So once again, it's showing you what? It's showing you that Esau Edom is that slave that's put in a position of rulership that the earth can't endure it, man. You know? But go ahead,
Said war unto them when war unto the kingdom when your
I got that.
Bible shot.
It says this is Ecclesiastes 10.
When that king is a child.
Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 16.
Is that the same one where they're coming out of prison to reign?
That's Ecclesiastes 4 and 14.
Read that for me first.
Okay, Ecclesiastes 4 and 14. It says, for out of prison he cometh to reign.
And that's Esau, man. You know, those chains that was put on him in Revelation 20, the Lord loosed him from it, man. So he came out of prison. He came out of those caves. He came out of that low estate into a position of rulership. Go ahead.
Whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor.
The rich sit in low place, man. You know, so this society is structured to keep these people down, man. You know, he that is born in his kingdom is born to be poor. What does that last part say?
It says
fucking rude ass nigga, man. You just yelling across the fucking street, bro. Hey, shut the fuck up, man.
This is Ecclesiastes 4 verse 14.
That's why I can't stand niggas, man. Here it is, the Edomites was looking back. They was talking amongst themselves. You know, This nigga pull up in a whole car yelling out of the fucking across the street, man. The fuck is you talking about, bro?
What's your Hebrew?
Some shit, man.
Go ahead, man.
Ecclesiastes 4 and verse 14, it says, for out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor.
Right. He that is born in his kingdom becometh poor, man. And that goes back to the Isaiah 10 that the brother you called had read earlier. You know? How these unrighteous decrees is set up to what? To keep Jake down, man. To make the widows and the fatherless their prey. You know?
They said, woe unto them, though. That's why destruction is coming unto them, man, because of their wickedness and their unlawful laws that they push out.
Unrighteous decrees.
Yep.
You go back to it.
This is Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 16. It says, woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child and thy princes eat in the morning.
And that child, man, it goes into a servant.
I got that, Galatians.
Yep.
This is Galatians 4 and verse 1. It says, now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant.
Right. So children, this is why, you know, when a daughter is given off to a man in our custom, you know, you would pay a dowry, man. Because he was getting, that man was receiving, you know, a worker, you know. That father was losing a valuable asset in his household. So he had to be recompensed for that. And the reason I'm saying all that is because children are servants, you know. Children, you know, they are there to listen, to follow orders, you know. So going back to that Ecclesiastes, it says what? It says, woe unto thee when thy king is a child, which goes into a servant. So woe unto the land when your ruler has a servant mentality, man. And that's Esau Edom, you know. You jump back.
Ecclesiastes 10 in verse 16, again it says, woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child and thy princes eat in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Meaning what? That they eat for themselves. Look at this society, right? Look at the politicians, man. Look at your senators.
Man, they know all the loopholes to get rich. They know all the loopholes to hold all the wealth and to gather up for themselves, you know, rather than you know, distribute it amongst the community, man.
Yeah, the community through, man. You know, I was watching, there was a clip, I forgot who, you know, there's a lot of different clips that brothers be sharing, but there's a clip of this councilwoman, this nigga woman, and I forgot what state it was. I think it's down south because she had a real heavy accent, but she was a councilwoman, nigga woman, and she was up there talking about, in my neck of the woods, in my, you know, area that she's over, we're talking about how we're gonna survive off, you know, whether we're paying groceries or paying rent. And then she said, I'm come to this meeting and I'm hearing my fellow councilmen and they're talking about their constituents. Now, when you look up a constituent, it goes into basically their supporters, man. So basically she's like, I'm hearing them talk about the vacations that they go on. I'm hearing them talk about the yachts and the boats that they buying and all these different things. And she like, what's going on here? Like, what's the problem here? You know? So when you actually look at the grand scheme of things, man, these so-called presidents, senators, governors, council people, man, you know, they're all in it for themselves, man.
The CEO of a company.
Well, that's the spirit you said that, because there's a documentary on Netflix. I believe it's the 13th Amendment documentary. If brothers haven't seen that, man, check it out, man. It's a good documentary. But it's chronicled around the 13th Amendment. Now, the 13th Amendment supposedly abolishes slavery. It says it's abolished, but it says involuntary, you know. So unless there's a crime that's committed where you get locked up, then you can become a slave, right? But they were going into how a lot of these politicians and these senators, they were sitting board meetings of these 500 companies, what they call them? Fortune 500 companies, man. And then the documentary was going into why are politicians sitting in at the board meetings of these Fortune 500 companies. the CEOs, the CFOs, like, why are they sitting in with meetings of them? And they were talking about how they were dictating the laws. The Fortune 500 companies would pay the politicians to enforce particular laws that would allow their profits to skyrocket, man. You see? So it's all they keep it in a family, so to speak, man. Where the rich get richer.
Poor get poor.
And the poor gets poor, man. And then we're going into how the politicians were setting up certain laws that would keep Jake, because this majority of Jake that's being prosecuted, man, locked up. And that would give the profitability to these different jails, you know, and a lot of these jails are owned by these Fortune 500 companies, man. So it's all like a racketeering thing, man. You know? Bugged out. Bugged out, man.
What the fuck wrong with Buddy guy?
Run straight, boy. About to fall out, man.
Go ahead, man.
This is that.
But I was just going into the aspect because it said the princes eat in the morning. Meaning what? That the leaders, the ones that's supposed to look out for society and look out for the welfare of the people, they only care about themselves, man. And it says, woe unto the land when you have leaders like that. You know? And this is why we see that this place is languishing, man. And not just here in America, but all these different places that America has its hands into.
This devil is greedy, man. Cause at a job, you know what I'm saying? An example of my job, they was giving us $5,000 bonus checks at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Then it went to $3,000 and $1,000, and then it went to a damn gift card. Then it went down to a damn
pizza party.
Damn food. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking grown ass pizza party.
Yeah.
Pepperoni at that.
At pepperoni ass, man.
The fuck?
Fucking pizza. Put a pen on this shit.
It's crazy, man. Place gotta go, man.
And they're not missing nothing either. But they're just greedy. You know?
Yeah.
This devil's just greedy, man. That's who's ruling this world. That's why the average person is suffering. They done destroyed the middle class.
Don't it say they have more than heart can wish?
Yep.
You know? But yet they want what you got. Here it is. This nigga done hoarded up all the gold and the silver. He already got what's valuable and what's precious. Now he has circulated FRNs unto everybody.
Right.
That ain't worth shit. But yet he want that too.
He's still greedy for that. And he know it ain't worth
It's monopoly money, bro. It ain't backed by nothing.
Bro,
but he want that too.
This nigga wants your soul. He just take. He want it all, man.
Well, that goes back to that Proverbs 30, the horse leech.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That represents Esau. It says the horse leech has 2 daughters that saith give. And then it goes into what? It says there are 3 things that's never satisfied. 4 that saith it's not enough. Mm-hmm. The grave. Yep. Niggas die every day, B.
Yeah.
You know? So what? So the ground ain't never saying like, hey.
That's enough people.
Full capacity.
Yeah, hey, that's enough. It'll never be full. Why? Because the bodies break down and turn back into the dirt again. So you can constantly keep burying bodies, man. It'll never get full. You know? Well, in Habakkuk it says what? He enlarges his desire as hell. When you look up that word hell, it's the Hebrew word sha'al, which what? Is the grave. So he enlarges his desire as the grave and cannot be satisfied.
Showing the comparison.
Yeah, this nigga, he will never be satisfied, bro. Yeah. So that's why he gotta go, man. You know? There's an old, I wish I could remember the movie that was off of, man. But there's an old, like, Gadite tale where you had the animals, they were all in harmony with one another. You know, it's off a particular movie. I'm mad I can't think of this movie. But they were all in harmony with each other, you know, and then the man asked if they can join the harmony of the animals. And then all the animals agreed except the owl. The owl was like, no, there's something in man, you know? The owl warned the rest of the animals, and it was like, look, there's something in man, he can't be satisfied. If we allow him to come in our circle, he's gonna ruin our circle, and he's gonna ruin everything else, man. You know? And it's an old Gadite tale, you know, but it has wisdom to it. Because what does the owl represent? So the owl was the one that be able to concede that man can never be satisfied. And the scriptures tell you that. It says that the eye is not filled with seeing and the ear is not full with hearing. I'm roughly paraphrasing that, man. Showing you that this flesh can never be satisfied, which is why it's important that discipline, that temperance be exercised over this flesh, man. And this is what we learn with this wisdom. But when it comes to Esau Edom, upon his belly he goes, man. There's not a ounce, there's not a speck of temperance or discipline in that nigga's body, man. You know? And this is what he pushes out throughout society.
Belly.
If it feels good, do it.
Do as thou will. You mentioned Aleister Crowley earlier said he is in Delhi my spirit, man. Do what you want, whatever feels good. Well, that goes back into that wisdom of Solomon too. Wicked reasoning, but not a right. Said, man, let us use everything up, man. Let's just use everything up. We're not gonna be here long. Our life is short. All right, it's like a spark. So while we're here, let us use up all the Lord's creation. All right, let us fill ourselves with this wine. Let us oppress the poor righteous man.
But he is not for our turn.
Man, that's a rock too. That was with Solomon too. It's tough.
Yep.
Because King Solomon is breaking down the mentality of Esau, Edom, and these niggas that are of their father the devil. These niggas that get rich or die trying.
And he prophesied about his own judgment.
Yep.
Yeah. When you read that wisdom of Solomon, it says he proclaimed to be the Son of God. Let us prove him to see if it be true. That was a prophecy concerning what Yahweh Shah went through.
Yep.
And King Solomon prophesied of that. So he prophesied of what he had to go through later on, man. You know?
And he went through it too. And he went through it like a champ, man. And he's the king.
And the scripture says that the servant is not greater than his master. So what Yahweh Shah went through, we're going through our form of that.
Yep.
You know?
And I don't want to write this out. We're going to endure it. And we're going to make it cross that finish line. And the Lord's going to give us a crown. That's also in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. Say that you shall get a glorious crown from his right hand. Okay? And that's what we striving for. You niggas want to, make your life as easy as possible. All right, while you're here in America, you think you're gonna be here for another 30 years, 1,000 years. We looking to get that crown, man. That's what we focused on. So our eye is single on the kingdom. It says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, meaning our first priority, all right, is getting into that kingdom, is getting that throne, all right, and is getting that crown. And if that's our first priority, that means what? We need to honor wisdom or be obedient unto wisdom. You honor your mother and you honor your father and your mother. That means what? You listen to them. You do what they ask you to do, right? Well, if you're honoring wisdom, you're going to listen to wisdom. You're going to do what wisdom tell you to do.
Yep.
Honor.
Most High is our heavenly Father,
right.
and wisdom is our mother.
That's right, man. And wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. Therefore, ye kings of the people, honor wisdom that ye may reign forevermore. Yeah. Well, in that chapter, he says, I'm writing this onto you so you don't fall away. If you follow this, you'll never follow. You'll reign forever if you're following what these instructions, which is the whole book. If you follow these instructions of this book, you'll reign forever. If you follow the instructions of this book, you'll live forever. All right? That's what we want to add. Going back in the Wisdom of Solomon, it said what? That the Lord created man and his intention was for them to be immortal. But through envy of the devil, death came into the world. We began to die. Man, there's so much game in these scriptures that show you, just on Adam and Eve alone, and show you, look, the woman, she's not going to be satisfied. That's why way back then, he was the king of the earth. All right? He is the king of paradise. He had it all. And she still was unsatisfied.
Yeah, hey, there's a clip that it's a Joe Budden podcast. And they had the Melissa Ford. She used to be a video vixen. The bitch used to be bad back in the day. But they played a clip in the Joe Budden podcast of dude explaining the nature of a woman. And he was using Eve as an example.
Yeah.
And he was like, here it is. Look at what God gave Adam and Eve. You know, gave them paradise, gave them eternity, gave them happiness, and it wasn't enough for the woman.
Right. They bust out laughing.
You know? And then all the men was like, yeah, man, and they got it. And then she sat there.
I don't think that's funny.
No, I thought there'd be more.
I thought there'd be more.
That's the point. Said that's the point.
And that's the point, because the woman wasn't satisfied with that. She was looking for more.
Yeah, that was.
And that illustrated the point.
Yes,
you know?
In real time.
In real time, bro. You know?
It's this meme I seen.
You can't
right?
make this shit up, bro.
It's this meme I seen, and like they said, you would give her the world, and she like, where the moon and the stars at? Like,
You give her the moon and the stars, the bitch looking for Mars.
Yeah.
That's why you a damn fool if you try to make a woman happy.
Yep. Now she wants your anus.
God.
And we see what Chief Priest did.
He gave it up.
He gave that up.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yikes.
Let's finish that.
This is Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 17. It says, "Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles."
And this is what the Lord is doing, man. He's bringing us back into our nobility. You know? Through what? By being obedient to the instructions that the brother just was speaking about in Wisdom of Solomon. By following these laws, by following these instructions and the guidance of the Holy Spirit, it brings us back into that nobility, man. Into that noble mentality. You see? See, what the Lord is teaching us is how to govern and how to rule. This is what we're being taught. This is what we're being trained in. Go ahead.
It says, "And thy princes eat in due season for strength and not for drunkenness."
That's temperance, man. Not for excess, for strength. You see? So that's temperance. That's proper discipline and balance. And this is what the Lord is teaching us, man, through what we're going through. See, what we're learning is how to be temperate and balanced in all things, man, in order to what? To govern the universe in the time to come. You know? To how to properly judge. See, we're learning how to master this flesh because ultimately we're going to be delivered out of this flesh, but we're going to be judging individuals who are still going to be in this flesh, man. And just how it explained about our Lord Yahweh Shai, that he was tempted at all points just as we are, yet without sin. So now he's able to succor us because he's been there, he's experienced that. Well, we're going to be able to have that same experience, counsel, guidance, and mercy to show unto the heathen in the world to come. You know? Beautiful. And this is what's going to cause what? The world to rejoice, man, when the righteous are in authority. When equity is being shown throughout the earth, man. Proper judgment, justice, and righteousness is being executed. You know? So then, you know, adultery being committed, a guy end up smoking both of their ass. Now he got to do life in prison. That's an unrighteous judgment.
Fucked up.
Well, the law puts into place of crimes of passion or in the heat of the moment, man. Mm-hmm. That's a justified judgment when it comes to the scriptures, man. You know, so that man ain't gotta fucking go rot away in jail. Right. See, these things gonna be implemented in the earth, man. You know.
Or just let this bitch live.
Oh yeah.
And take half his shit.
Nah, he gotta, yeah.
And now the nigga is in. Now the nigga that she was committing adultery with is in his crib, bro. She getting popped in his old bedroom.
You're paying her alimony.
And this nigga's paying her, and he can barely afford a 2-bedroom apartment, man. Because he's paying her. Now she got to keep the kid because of her infidelity. She gets to keep his kids. She gets to keep half of his shit.
He gotta pay her.
He gotta pay her alimony, and he out the house struggling to survive, man.
And this nigga came up.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what happened with Jeff Bezos' wife, man.
Yep.
He divorced her. She became a billionaire overnight. You know, when they got divorced, because she took half his shit, and then she married some fucking school teacher nigga. That nigga hit the lotto, boy. Came up. You know, and you already know she was probably dibbling and dabbling with that nigga even beforehand, man. Or you got Tom Brady. His wife ended up getting pregnant by her jiu-jitsu trainer, man. And you wonder why he divorced her. You know? So this is why, man, we waiting for the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai, man. You know? Yeah.
They don't care, they love it.
They don't care, they love it. Yeah. Yeah. But see, we gonna cry out, man. You know? What did my man Jaden Smith say on the Karate Kid? I hate it here.
I wanna go
home. You know? There's that old SpongeBob episode with Sandy Cheeks. You know? I wanna go home. You know? Like straight up, man. That's the spirit we in, man. You know? Which there's a song by this Edomite looking guy. He a Jake, and I forgot his name.
Oliver,
yeah, Oliver something, bro. Man, Google that song, man.
shit's viral.
Yeah, I want to go home, Joe.
Rich Man in Richmond.
That song went viral, man, and that's a beautiful song, man. And it shows you that that's a Jake, man, because his spirit is crying out.
Yeah,
you know.
he's mourning.
Sign and crying.
Yeah, man. You know, so we ready to go home, man. We ready to be delivered from this cesspool of wickedness, man. You know. But we gonna end it there, man. We gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to all you brothers preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. Hey, shalom.
Shalom.
Johnny, Johnny, Jewish, Johnny.
Caught me, Shalom.